Earth God here, and it's time to talk about Lord of Mysteries. And damn, this episode felt like conspiracies. Everything is connected. You don't see it. Insert that wall with 5,000 strings along, and it got me. It got me. This episode finally feels like it connects the bigger plot. We're getting into the meat of things, and a lot of series do this. Like Old Taxi probably is one of the closest one that comes to mind. Apothecary Diaries, Mystery City. Like you watch various incidents, they feel isolated. You feel like there's something bigger going on, but you don't fully see it. And I'm sure there's so many clues probably throughout the episode and so on. And I'm sure you guys from the source material readers probably pick them up and hey, I saw this, the reference, this, I caught this and that one. But here, this episode, it feels like finally we see the characters and especially Klein putting some things together, and there's a lot more going on. Who is this mysterious force person, god organization, on whoever is manipulating the fate and all of those incidents and events and kind of leading Klein towards this goal, or maybe him getting to this Seer pathway. And it seems like the Seer pathway kind of connects everything, and being described as eerie and terrifying makes it a lot more suspicious, to say this. Like, we have seen combat ones and ones that feel like they can do more, but it seems like the Seer pathway can do a lot more, and maybe even later a sequence that we have here. And I'm a lot more interested right now. Like, after the last episode that we had with Azik, probably my favorite character, I'm getting more and more into liking Klein and getting a bit more connected, or Zhao, however you wanna call him. I'm talking about the one that is in Klein's body here, and giving more moments for the characters feels a lot more impactful here. And this episode definitely builds up some things and the bigger thing with this doomsday coming. But anyway, let's get into the episode and break it down a bit. I'm probably gonna yap here, and I probably missed way too many things. I'm going with no sleep. It's been a busy day yesterday and a busy morning today, so I'm sorry if I'm sounding weird or my mind is not fully present, so to say. But I still wanted to have the video out and this conversation right after I watch my the episode. So let's get into it. Now, Azik, I like at the start he was willing to answer stuff for Klein, and him saying with these fate fluctuations and kind of leading Klein, giving him the lead, the hook to set him on this path, saying, have you seen any coincidence, and kind of being the big clue and kind of unraveling things for Klein a bit, and him going through things to this in this episode. I like moments like this when characters start piecing things together and you see everything connecting to the Antigonus book, being present there slowly him throughout the episode realizing more and more. And also like the character moments, seeing the agency there having that engagement party, Klein, Neil and everybody being here. And we see cute character Sekatron. She's kind of felt a bit like a gremlin and a goofball. Sequence 8 Midnight Poet. She's kind of cute, and she's also a novel writer. I bet she's the one that's writing all of the isekai and overpowered fantasy characters that I like. Start writing more, and I hope we get to see more of her. She was cute. I like how when they're doing the Nighthawks patrol, the schedule, you're going there, you're going there. Dan comes in, setting up the schedule, and he kind of forgets about but then Leonard says, they all say that Dan, thanks to his power, his sequence there sometimes mixes reality and dreams here. So not all of his memories are fully present and combining them at the same time. So kind of a bit of a drawback with that. And I'm curious what it's gonna go when he gets later on here. But in the end, he gives Klein an interesting assignment here to watch over the Chinese gate, but never open it unless it's open from the inside. Don't interact with it no matter what you hear. I'm like, that's a flag there. Something is going to happen. When somebody says something like that regarding anything, you know something is going to happen. But I feel like probably the biggest shock wasn't the dangerous gate. Like, yes, that's par for the course, normal. Klein has to submit a performance review, 10,000 words. Like those always suck. But imagine having to write a report over everything that happened since you joined this supernatural world here, and everything that Klein went through, and easy. Yeah, he is fucked. This is probably the most dangerous thing he has to do. But we'll see how that works out here. And of course, like I said, the flag gets triggered. The Chinese gate opens, and it's this creepy ass doll, and kind of has a note or something for Klein. We see at the end of the episode. And speaking of that, there's like two scenes you guys should watch after the episode ends. There's one with a sacrifice, and one where we see this note, like there's a symbol on it here. And man, that doll was creepy. I like how everybody rushed there. They sensed the gate was open, and they kind of suspected Klein a bit, especially Leonard hates protocol, but still. And apparently that doll is called Misfortune Cloth Puppet, and somebody lost control over the gate, and apparently the Antigonus journal also affected the puppet, kind of made it move again. They didn't really know it could be sort of quotation marks alive here. So this Antigonus notebook is doing so many things and affecting so many things here. And I was like, when Neil walked in, kind of creepily like a zombie, did he get affected? Well, yes, but not by the gate or the journal, the notebook, my bad. He just had diarrhea, and he was constipated, and he decided to do ritual magic to deal with it, and now has diarrhea. So monkey's paw kind of worked out, but yeah, there's there's a price to pay to pay for that here. And also like the meeting in the Grey Fog, especially how Audrey and Alger treat Klein or the fool, kind of sharing information here, and him getting some more pages from the Emperor here to read them. And this Zaratul is probably Mr. Z from the Order there, who kind of got his full name, or at least I'm assuming that's his full name. His fourth epoch descendant, Secret Order leader, and the Antigonus family also being connected here. And the cute moment Audrey had when she looked at Klein, saying, "Oh, I shouldn't observe him. We know how he's put on a pedestal, seeing as a higher being." And she just had one question: when will she digest the potion? And of course, the answer was right in the pages that Klein was reading, like between 1 month and 6 months. There, it depends on various things here. And Sequence 8 listener from Aurora Order, seeking the true creator. And I like how the true creator is more like the fallen creator, how Klein called him here. And information from Alger about the Antigonus family, saying they have an eerie, terrifying pathway. And reveal later that the Seer pathway is being that even shocked Klein later in the episode, being so dangerous compared to everything else he has seen so far. And probably that's why Roselle the Emperor wanted it. There's something more with this pathway, don't fully know. And here is where we see a bit of a third epoch world building kind of history, thanks to Alger. The Antigonus, Ammon, and Abraham families supported the Blood Emperor, and the Evernight goddess destroyed the fourth epoch. And this is a mistranslation. Thankfully, I found out later on she didn't destroy the fourth epoch. Again, Crunchyroll or whoever is doing the fucked up things with translations, they keep doing it on so many other series. It happened on the ReZero or missing translations and so on. But in stuff like this, can fuck up a series a lot more, considering how much information and things are here and things to keep track of. Messing up something like this, fuck you. Pay attention to this. And we're probably gonna watch also the dub for this one. I'm curious how the experience is gonna be for this one. But back to the episode. The Evernight goddess didn't destroy the entire epoch. Like, imagine doing that, considering the epoch being full of gods and everything in between there. She just destroyed the Antigonus family itself here. Probably this Seer pathway is that dangerous. And considering that Klein is a seer now and what the Evernight Goddess did, they're probably keeping him under surveillance, considering how dangerous they view this pathway as here, and I'm curious why. But Klein also, thanks to this and more, starts slowly figuring things out or kind of cracking open the door of the bigger mystery and gets a bit overwhelmed and has to take a step back, take things one at the time, focusing on the coincidence, the notebook, the interference with his divination, figuring out that somebody's leading him to the notebook, what it means that for him to even be in this world here, and saying he needs more power, but he's kind of stagnating with his digestion of the potion here and trying to use divination to discern things and think that a true seer needs more than just acting and wants to get the clown potion. I like moments like this, figuring out his power, the bigger implications of the plot, the world, what brought him here, everything in the past being connected. It's nice seeing all of the things, like I said at the start, you thought are just enclosed events, but they're much bigger, connected to everything else going on. And I hope the payoff is gonna be here, because I'm getting more invested into the series. We talked about the pacing and so on. I'm not going to repeat all of that rant. I'm sure everybody knows at this point with the pacing and everything that has been going on. It's a dense series and so on here. But yeah, him having to get the clown potion, thinking that maybe use the notebook to get the clown potion, and seeing that brain thing he saw there, the another sus person, and even at the start of the episode, we see that old dude doing more and more, and him being connected even later on in this episode. But when he goes to the club, there's this Christina girl looking for him, and he deduces here, kind of like Sherlock Holmes in a way, looking at the paper she has. Lanevus, I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name, being a suspect in the iron ore investment, kind of like a scam. We see so many of them in our day and age, especially with crypto and things like that. He discerns that he's there to divine his location to get some money back, and he was willing to sacrifice the kid, kind of use as a medium catalyst for client's divination, just yank it out of the belly of the mother. And thankfully she walked away like, fuck off, the kid is innocent, we don't need to do this. I'm paraphrasing a bit, of course, but I like how the mother was willing to protect the kid, even though the father's kind of a scumbag there. But that also happened in the Hornasis mountains. So we kept hearing Hornasis, Hornasis, Hornasis so many times. So again, everything being connected more and more here, in the Hornasis ruins, with that old dude that we saw at the start, and him having to go to the library to investigate more and more here. And of course, it feels like something is leading him to these things more and more. So somebody's working behind the scenes with, again, too many coincidences. The start of the episode leads up to how the episode also plays out and how the series has been playing out so far, now that we have a lot more context to go in. So him actually going at the library, he sees the name, figures out Sirius Arapis from the walking log there, who was walking in checking out things. And of course, the old dude is actually in the library, and Klein, being scared to confront him, is the battle type and so on. And he's not really apt for going against people that are much better able to fight compared to him. But I was actually surprised that the old dude didn't go on the attack. He actually ran out instantly here, and he goes after him, and the old guy goes berserk like a Beyonder, transforms into a monster, but kind of fumbles, or maybe I think the sun. He wasn't able to stay in the sun. We saw the blood or the droplets there when Klein was going after him. As soon as he walks into the sun, he just fumbles, collapses down, and Klein attributes that to luck. But again, probably something more happened there. And yes, that guy was Sirius Arapis there. Sequence 9, Secrets to Pliant. Okay, so there's a lot more pathways and sequences here. I do hope we're gonna get an episode that goes over the pathways, everything that we know, and so on here. But and yeah, Klein shoots him, gets the kill because that guy fumbled here, and he's looking for the clown recipe. He gets that one, but kind of gets more than he bargained for. He looks into the Berserk Beyonder, and yeah, the fallen creator or true creator, however you wanna call, kind of shows up behind Klein. Kind of has another second encounter with a god or whatever this creator is here, and Dan snaps him out of it and warns him, don't go looking into Berserk Beyonders, it's a lot more dangerous. Like, Klein was kind of a bit too absorbed into his search and kind of forgot the risks there. He was a bit reckless, even more after he had that with the sun, got the blazing sun there. After that moment, probably be too scared to even open the door, if I'm being honest. Let alone look into something like that here, and showing how reckless Klein can be. I like that more characterization through the actions of the characters instead of just telling me to my face, hey, this character is reckless. Rather, much better you show it to me. But there's also a letter there, and with Mr. Z, and that's why I was talking Miss Zaratul, and we saw the guy that Mr. Z went when he killed that guy with the mirror there for fucking up. Probably the same one, oracles from the Aurora Order here, and apparently they didn't find any value in the Antigonus journal after they read it. We saw they made a deal at the start, except there was the Seer, apprentice and clown recipes here, and apparently the Antigonus family had this secret treasure and everybody is looking for it right now, and since they had the Seer pathway, they probably predicted their own downfall and made leftovers, and the treasure being on the Hornasis mountain there, and preparations for doomsday, so something bigger is coming, and they're gonna make Tingen sacrificial, say probably the town here and everything that has been going on here, so something bigger, a doomsday is approaching here, and Klein trying to figure things out, like everything being connected to the Seer pattern, and this was the moment that clicked a lot more for me, showing that everything is connected and somebody has been leading, steering him up to this point. Too many coincidences. Who's controlling this net of fate? Somebody behind the scenes manipulating him and everybody else involved into the world. To what goal or why, we don't know at this point, but makes everything have a lot more context and value so far, and him even saying what was the real reason for Klein's suicide here, and he's trying to divine that, but here is where he makes the realization while he was struggling. That's why he was stagnating, saying that divination is not all powerful, and when he says that, it also clicks for him and also allows him to fully trigger the full digestion of the potion, and he's kind of get free to see everything pretty much in the city, flying all over the place. That sequence of animation and event was actually really cool, and he sees the building with those red smokestacks. That's probably the location of the guy behind things, and gets snapped out of it there. So yeah, this episode probably did so much for the plot and characters of the series. I'm a lot more interested there, and it's nice. Like I said, I like things like this where it feels like the bigger mysteries, the coincidence, and characters putting things together with the clues they have, also the clues we have saw and picked up on, and I probably missed a multitude of things, let alone me not being a source material reader, and maybe even things in the future and so on. I'm probably gonna rewatch the series when the dub is finished. Also, I'm curious how that experience is going to be, but like I said, we also have two more scenes here after that divination there. We see Marauder Pathway, Sequence 8 Lavenus, we actually see him performing a ritual there with another one, Eugen, Sequence 8 Psychiatrist Spectator Pathway. So that's also from Audrey. We kind of got a clue for her with the Spectator pathway, performing this ritual. sacrificing themselves with that girl. They're putting blood into herself, so human sacrifices. I don't know what they're doing here. So yeah, Aurora order ritual and giving their lives here. But then after that, there's another scene, the gate opening, and we see the doll and Klein remembering the full context of that scene, the nightmare, and he forgot it. We see the symbol that the doll had on the note she was carrying here. So yeah, insane episode, very very dense episode. This is probably an episode that is worth a rewatch, slower, and even more if you're actually gonna go back and rewatch the entire series. But probably gonna wait for the dub here. So this series is probably gonna be better on a rewatch when you have more context, and a lot of books and a lot of other series, maybe like Bleach and so many other that have insane foreshadowing, or Odd Taxi, like I said, Apothecary Diaries. If you like things being connected, you feel left out, but when you have the full context, you're like, yo, yeah, there, or Wheel of Time. If you guys want to get into reading books and things like that, I highly recommend Wheel of Time. Insane foreshadowings and things being connected here. I'm currently reading the book with Wheel of Time, but yeah, Lord of Mysteries here. This episode is probably one of the better episodes, and yeah, keep them coming, keep them coming. I'm excited for the next one. So let me know in comments below what you guys thought about the episode, and again, don't go into spoilers, please, especially if you've read the source material. But also I'm curious if you're just a dongo anime only, what do you think so far with the series? Again, I know about the pacing, we've talked about it and so on, but I'm curious. Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Lord of Mysteries. I'm gonna see you again on the next one. Bye bye.